lights and tunnel action. What's up, everybody? Flashwing here. Trying not to get killed by manic drivers. Got a beautiful sunset out there in the distance. You can see the downtown skyline. Let's get on to the topic. So I was there's been a culmination of things that I've kind of seen and heard over the past couple of weeks that kind of all gelled together today. There's an article that kind of makes the rounds. It's like the 5 things that people say they regret before they die. I saw it posted on a blog site that I frequent, and something about it kind of struck me because it hits at the core of some of the aspects of my own life that I've kind of been going over and mulling over, and a lot of it has to do with happiness. And I've come to believe that when you break down all of our motivations, everything that we do, the things that we don't do, it all seems to stem from 2 very specific motivating factors. That's happiness and survival. Everything that we do on a daily basis kind of falls into one of those 2 categories. Either we do something because we think it's necessary for our survival. It could be a number of things like, you know, safety, security, comfort, all that stuff. And or it could be, you know, because we're trying to make ourselves happy. And like one of the examples was like, you go to buy a high-end car. Well, why do you want a high-end car? Well, because you want people to, you know, you want prestige and you want people to perceive success. And why do you need that? Well, because you want respect. And you want respect because, well, respect makes you happy. All that kind of stuff. So just to give you a couple of ideas. And that being said, you know, happiness obviously being one of those 2 core principles, it's pretty important. And it's like, okay, well, what is it that makes me happy in life? I'm starting to go against the grain of what our society deems as the path to happiness. And one of those things is is hard work, but hard work to the point of suffering. Yeah, little lights and tunnel action. And but I would say that the general societal perspective is that in order to be happy, you have to work very hard and you have to suffer quite a lot. And I'm really starting to feel like that's not true, because I see friends of mine, and again, I'm not being judgmental, this is just my personal opinion. My friends of mine who work very hard, who work very long hours, whether it's their job, whether it's school, whether it's a combination of the 2, and they just like kill themselves, and they're not any closer to being happy now than they were when they started on that journey. But, you know, of course, it's always in the payoff. The notion is, one day I'll be happy. And if you guys have ever been to Jimmy John's, there's all those different like little wall plaques and sayings and stuff. And there's one that I catch once in a while, you know, where like the American CEO is talking to like a guy in a Mexican or Spanish village who, you know, fishes all day and lives, you know, takes siestas, and the American CEO is like, oh, you know, you can take that fishing and turn it into a business. And they do this, they kind of go round and round and round, where the American CEO basically tells this guy, you could do what you're doing, turn it into a business, spend a lot of time essentially running in circles, only to retire doing exactly what you're doing right now. You know, and so the joke is well, if you're already enjoying life and you're already happy, why spend all this time to, you know, build your big empire only to retire doing exactly what you're doing now? And the truth of the matter is that, you know, if you spend all these years working and I'm talking like, you know, massive hours, massive commitment. And at the end of the day, what do you have to show for it? You know, you miss opportunities with your family, you miss opportunities with your friends. You know, and as you get older, people start dying on you. You start losing friends, you start losing family, and those people are not coming back, you know, and so while you're spending all this time trying to achieve things or trying to conquer challenges or trying to get that promotion, or I do think there is a point at which we have to look at our lives and say, you know, is all of this really worth it? Is all of this, is killing myself every day, 7 days, or whatever, is it really worth it? Now, you know, I know that there's some of you out there who are supporting a family. I gotta give a hat tip to my buddy Enrique, who has been a longtime subscriber. I consider him to be a very close friend. Enrique is a hard worker, and I don't want to embarrass him too much, but to say that this guy works a massive amount of hours. He sacrifices a lot for his family. He loves his family, he loves his wife, he loves his kids, and you can tell. I mean, every time I talk to him, you know, he's talking about, you know, things that he's doing. He's talking about his family. I mean, they're very important to him, and that in and of itself is very important. And I'm sure there's probably a million things that Enrique would love to do that would make him happy, but I know that the safety and security and prosperity of his family is what makes him happy. So I just want to use Enrique as an example, in that sometimes, you know, sometimes hard work is necessary to handle the responsibilities that you have in life, but sometimes those responsibilities in and of themselves bring happiness. So it's all very subjective, and it's something that I can't answer for any other person other than myself. For me personally, happiness really comes down to doing the things that I want to do, you know, whatever that may be. As long as I get to do what I want to do every day, you know, the circumstances be damned. You know, I don't have to be wealthy. I like being comfortable, but I don't have to be wealthy. I don't have to be famous. I don't have to be super good looking. You know, any one of those things by themselves would be nice, but it's not what when I sit down and think about the things that would make me happy in life, that's definitely not the kind of thing I go to. Relationships and experiences really are what I focus on the most, which is part of the reason why A, I'm not a workaholic, and B, I'm a work to live kind of guy. That's just me. Again, I'm not. Those of you out there who swing the other way, that's fine. It's your life. You do what you want with it. But that's what I go for. But my main point is I want to encourage everybody to think critically about the things that make you happy, and don't get into this trap that, you know, you got to do what society tells you to do. And that's kind of that was one of the other sort of 5 things that people mentioned that they regretted before they died, was that they lived their own life. You know, that they didn't live their life according to what their parents wanted, or their spouse wanted, or their friends or family, or even society. And I think that society and cultural pressures tend to be some of the bigger issues, because, you know, you don't want to do, you know, you start, I mean, even think about riding motorcycles. I mean, I understand, you know, downshift's resistance movement, in the sense that, you know, you're resisting the norms of society, which, hey, riding bikes is still considered to be kind of not taboo, but it's just odd. Like, oh, you ride bikes? Aren't those dangerous? You know, and the perception is that, you know, you just have to avoid danger, when the fact of the matter is people do dangerous shit every day. This is not my part of town. That sign that says no parking, you know how many I give about that? 0. Apparently they got some great Sonoran dogs here. So anyway, Well, that's it. That's it for today, guys. Gonna get some hot dogs, and I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. I know it's a little long, but yeah, man, just take some time, really think hard about what makes you happy in the world, because you might be surprised to find out that it ain't what makes everybody else happy. And I'm here to tell you that that's perfectly okay. We'll see you out there.